Alright, calculus class, back again. The video for you. I just got your quizzes in the mail and was able to grade them last night. And I found a couple things, so if we can get this posted to the classroom, maybe some of you can view this before you take the test on Monday or on Wednesday, that'd be great. Couple things to review. When we have an inequality up here, where we have two sets of things that are going to be the solutions, okay, we have to make sure that we have two answers. Okay, so when I see this graph from -3 open circle to the left, that has to be some x's that are less than -3. Or as an interval, we can say that it'll start at -infinity and go up to -3, and those are both open. Okay? This side over here is this starting at 5, so I need to have more ink, so I'm going to do a bracket here, because there's going to be more ink for interval notation. I'll start at 5, and again I'll go up to infinity. Now because I have two different things, this comma is representing an or a union, which means it has to be true in one or the other in order for it to be in the set. So we just need one or the, that's a union. Some of you tried to take this two ideas and write it into one. Well, whenever we try to smash it all into one and there's only one x, that's an and or an intersection. And so you think about what I'm saying here is this is saying that these x's are less than -3 if I read this part of it. And at the same time, those same x's are greater than or equal to 5. So you're telling me that I need an x that satisfies both of those two statements at the same time. And that's impossible. Okay, so many of you got that wrong just on notation-wise. There is no such x that will make both of those true. So make sure if your set, if you have two different sets on your graph, or two different pieces, it has to be written twice. Both have to get their own x. Okay? If you write it with one x, it has to be an intersection of the two. It is very common, though, for -3 to be less than x, which is less than or equal to 5. And that will be one set of numbers starting at -3 and going up till 5. And that's one set. Okay, that's the one common mistake that we can fix. The other one is a little bit more difficult to fix. The other one is how you do inequalities, okay? And so, excuse me, many of you on your inequalities, when you saw something, let's just take an x squared plus 1 over x is less than or equal to x, let's go with this, so it's fairly easy, x over 2. We'll try to make this really easy. When we take a look at this inequality here, many of you are taking the approach that you have some memorized idea of trying to doing this, when you can't do that, because our rules of inequalities don't apply. As I cross multiply here, and multiply both sides by 2, I get 2x squared plus 2. And then I get x times x, and that's x squared. The problem there is, when I multiply both sides by x, we don't have a property that says, hey, when you multiply both sides by x, here's what you do to that sign, because we don't know what x is. We don't know if it's positive or negative or what it is. So that right there would be a false statement, and we're not sure. And so we're saying when it's an inequality, you can't solve the inequality problem with inequalities. You must call it equal to and find the key numbers. So the very first step that many of you did wrong was, even though it was an inequality, you need to treat it as an equality and figure out the key numbers. 2x squared plus 2 equals x squared. You need to figure out the key numbers that make it true for the equal to. So we get that, and when we say we get x squared equals -2. So in this case, there are no numbers, critical numbers, that will make this sentence equal. However, there is a critical number here, where there is a, excuse me, not critical, but a key number. So there's key numbers when the inequality becomes an equality, where the two graphs are going to cross. And there's also key numbers where it's undefined, where I'd have to pick up the pencil to do the graph. Because what we're trying to figure out is, if I have one graph on top of the other, where they will change that truth, if this is above that, they'll only change where they're equal to, or where you have to pick up the pencil to start drawing. This one's on top and that one's below, but I have to pick this one up and now it becomes below. So my key number is also when it's undefined. Well, this also happens when x equals 0. So now that I've searched for all my key numbers and I found x equals 0 to be the only one, then I go look at my regions and I say, here's 0. I'm going to check something to the left of here. So let's just say -2. And I'll check the truth statement for this. -2 squared is 4. 4 plus 1 over -2. Is that less than or equal to -2 over 2? Well, this is -1, and that's -5/2. Is -5/2 less than or equal to -1? make sure you understand here, where are we talking? Here's -1, here's -2.5. Is this less than there? And the answer is yes. So then we'll check, say 2. And very similar, we're going to have 4 plus 1 over 2. And is that less than or equal to 1? Well, this is 5/2, so 2.5, is that less than or equal to 1? And the answer is no. So, excuse me, I probably want to put it right there. So my solution to the original problem then becomes at 0 it's undefined, so it's an open circle there, and it's all the stuff that's over here. And then I can write that as either -2, excuse me, I did it wrong, -infinity up to 2, both of them open, you can never be at -infinity, or x is less than -2, or, why am I doing -2, class? In too much of a hurry. 0, 0, right? This is at 0. So from -infinity up to 0, or when x is less than 0. So that's the kind of problems that I saw the most mistakes. There were some other ones. Otherwise, I think you did a pretty good job on your quizzes, and we'll get those scores entered into Skyward. Hopefully you can see this, and you'll do well on the test. Say the test will have many multiple choice. Those are 2 points apiece. There's not really partial credit for those. And then it'll have some free response where I will be grading your work, and that is completely on the work that you show. So make sure you show your work on those. You can show the work in the booklet and do stuff, but I'm going to grade the multiple choice pretty much all or none on that, because only what I will see on the answer sheet is what I will grade. Okay, good luck on your tests.